Welcome to the Kool, the Kareem Matthews podcast. I'm Kareem Matthews, and I'm here with my boy, my dude, my Ramley, my ace, UCSD alum, point guard extraordinaire. Oh, it's a Laker t-shirt this week. I love it. Mr. Rodney Lusain. What's good, my dude?
All good, Playboy. How you?
I'm chill.
Channel 9 regularly
Here we
scheduled
go.
programming will not be seen in order that we may present the following sports special.
Oh, yeah.
The world champion Los Angeles Lakers are on the air. Brought to you by Toyota, who remind you to get more from life. Buckle up. By Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. By Taco Bell, serving your favorites from tacos to pizzazz pizza and more at any of the Taco Bell locations near you. By Michelin.
And the footage, dude. The footage that's shown.
Pacific Bell
Is incredible.
California businesses for over
Dude,
75
I mean,
by Denny's restaurants where you'll like their prices and
it's some of the dopest plays from Showtime. Like,
rooting for the Lakers. And to be a part of
That's so crazy.
the world's leader in 35 millimeter photography. And by McDonald's, where it's always a good time for the great taste. McDonald's.
It's crazy.
And now, ladies and
Yeah, I gotta give it up for that. It's crazy because you listening to them sponsors?
right.
Rose was one that was a beer that's no longer around. And then Cannon.
All right. Something called Ingle Nook.
Oh, right. Right. Cannon, the film. You know what I'm saying? Cameras. That's crazy. Nah, that's real throwback right there. You know what I'm saying? That music, that whoever made that song should be paid.
Should have got a
'Cause
Grammy.
Right, something, you know what I'm saying? Because they played that all through the 80s.
Right.
Like the whole
plays through my head. Like,
right. Right.
random moments, I just start hearing this music.
Right. And it take you right to who? He might have had that on his album, but all people think about is the Laker pregame with that. You know what I'm saying? He like, man, that was my real song. But we like, man, that's the Laker shit right there.
I didn't make that for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Should have
Right.
all that.
Right. Y'all just stole my music, man. Nah, but yeah. That's a good intro. It's the playoffs is here, man. It's crazy because they really just consume like 2-3 months. You know what I'm saying? Like they feed you just small little bits and pieces, like 1-2 games a night. You know what I mean? And they just go for 2-3 months. But the intrigue, it's like a soap opera. It's really like the only thing that people watch live now is sports.
Right.
That's the only thing you can't be on tape. You watch it when you want to. Like even with us earlier, you was like, I think you ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? Like with sports, it's that important that you got to be right where it's going on. It's not something you can just tape and watch later. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can, but it loses all the luster. Because by the time you watch it, you're going to get an alert on your phone or something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Nah, I mean, the NBA, dude. I don't. It's. I feel like it's always been like this since I was a fan. Like, obviously I'm Showtime, Lakers, so Bird and Magic, all that was just built in. But now, even without like them two, like it was Storybook with Bird and Magic. I don't know that we had that Storybook story right now, but everywhere you look, every series is dramatic.
Interesting. Right. Nah. And that's the thing about the league. As much as they try to kill themselves, it's when it gets to this point, it's hard for it not to be good. You know what I'm saying? The regular season and load management and the all-star game, they got so many problems that they can't fix. But this fixes itself. Like when you plan to go home, that's a whole, you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing that the regular season can't bring. So the regular season dudes can load manage. The All-Star game is trash. But this takes it back to the grassroots of hoop. You know what I'm saying? The genuine love of basketball is what happens in the playoffs. It ain't none of that. I'm sitting out. You see Kawhi, Kawhi is playing, y'all. You know what I'm saying? That's how important this is. Kawhi Leonard is out there, y'all. It's like Ben Simmons.
Right.
Kawhi and Ben Simmons are playing in the same game, people. That's what the playoffs do. You know what I mean?
AD was getting up off the ground. Like,
right.
AD falls after every shot.
He still got hurt, but he kept playing this time.
Right. And was talking shit to Ja. Did you see that? Him talking to Ja?
Nah.
In the second playing game?
Right. The one that got drugged.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, he at some point, Ja went to the whole first half, got fouled, and was basically saying to whomever, like, he can't guard me. So AD comes up to him and is like, I'll guard you. Like, you know that. And Ja was like, come on. And AD was like, because I don't run. You know I'm going to be here. You know I'm going to be. And then the refs start coming in and separating them. But he was really trying to punk Ja.
That's not going to work.
Ja kind of looked behind and was like, hey, LeBron ain't standing behind you, dude.
Right. Nah, I was about to say that's so out of pocket for AD. Like we never
since he got to Dallas, though. I feel
we
like
never saw that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. That's a new guy doing that. You know what I mean? Because everybody, but we never saw him do that in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? We saw him in the playoffs. Like, didn't he go? Was that him or LeBron that went out in that Phoenix series when they first got here?
Well, his first year here, we won it. So that second year, we went out in the first round of Phoenix, I want to say, and it was probably AD.
Yeah, right. He wasn't talking shit then. He went out, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't want to – a shit-talking version of AD would be a new guy to me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say, oh, yeah, I remember him. He used to do that with us. Like, he did not. And we've been through some real battles, you know what I mean? So I'm cool with the trade. Like, it's nothing he can do right now to make me be like, man, I want AD back. But we did take the L in that first playoff, the first game against Minnesota, and I feel like even though he balled, it had something to do with Luka. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because it's a fine line for what Luka do. Like, he's so ball dominant that he got to be ball dominant in the right way. Like, when he get 30, 10, and 10, it's cool. But he only had one assist.
Wow.
He had 35, 6, and 1. You know what I'm saying? So he was getting off early and we had the lead, but then nobody else was in the game. Not even LeBron. And in that situation, though, I feel like that's LeBron's fault. Everybody else got to eat off of Luka. LeBron, you can, and we need that. You get the ball and bully ball. You know what I'm saying? You know how he do when he just decide, I'm going to just put my head down and go. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get to the bucket. Like, we need that because they out-physicaled us. You know what I'm saying? They really came in and was trying to really rough us up. So we need LeBron to take the ball and do a few, I'm just driving to the hole plays. You know what I'm saying? And then Luka got to be a little bit more, I'm going to get that lob. You know what I'm saying? Get Jackson Hayes involved. Like, still get your 30, but when you only have one assist, that means ain't nobody else eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we gonna give you the ball all the time, you got to make sure everybody else eat because, you know what I mean? That's why we lost. Like, That's the point difference right there. LeBron having 19 instead of 25, Reeves having 17 instead of 25, and then nobody else scoring. And that, to me, falls in the lap of Luka. If you gonna have the ball all the time, you know what I'm saying? And we see him do that though. Like one assist from him is an anomaly. That's not how he normally is.
Right.
And so that's why I feel like that's all gonna change in game 2. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wasn't worried because I'm like, Luka had 1 assist. I think that's the lowest he's had since he been here. Like
Mm.
he not gonna continue that, and LeBron's not gonna play like that again. Like these are dudes who have a track record. You know what I'm saying? This not like Houston or well, actually Memphis got a track record too. But when you lose by 50, I don't know if what kind of get back it is after that. But in the Lakers situation, this dude's that's been like Luka just got to the finals. You know what I'm saying? LeBron been to the finals damn near every year. So I'm confident that they're gonna be able to turn it around. But game 1, they got caught off guard. Even JJ Redick after the game was like, we wasn't prepared for their physicality. I was like, come on, like he made a few mistakes in the first game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he a rookie coach. This is the first time I ever felt like he seemed like a rookie coach.
Mm.
Like from game 1 at the beginning of the season, he handled everything. Even the trade, everything that happened this whole season, he seemed in control. But this first game of the playoffs, they said even before the game, he was a lot tighter than he normally is. Like the media was like talking to him before the game. He wasn't the same shit talking dude that he usually is. You know what I'm saying? Then after the game, he was like, yeah, we got caught off guard by their physicality. And I'm just like, even if that's true, I don't know if you should say that.
Right.
Even if that is what happened. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that it happened, that's on you too. Come on, y'all know it's the off start. Like, you know what I mean? You can't. We was caught up, and that's all Minnesota do. They built on being physical. They want a sloppy game. They don't have. That's the other part. When is Nas, Reed, and McDaniels going to do that again? They had 25 and 23.
Well, Nas Reed is capable of that. Like he was 6th man of the year.
Yeah.
Like he's capable of dub every game. Like he won't shoot 8 or 9 or whatever it was, but I feel like the approach we're gonna end up taking, we basically are saying Luka and Ant-Man need to switch roles. Like Ant-Man, we probably held him to like low 20s, and I know he missed like a quarter of the game, but he probably had 10 assists. And they felt like, all right, we was helping too much. We was too focused on him, and he just dished wide open threes. Dudes was knocking it down. They were like, maybe we need to let him get 40 and just
Like they did us.
keep them in. Exactly. And so, but Luka got a different bag. Like, I know we used to say that with Steve Nash back in the day, like, let him get 40. Don't let him have 10, 15 assists. And, I don't remember. That we were doing, the Lakers were doing that against the Phoenix Suns at that point. Right. And I know we beat them one of the years we won the championship. So on some level, it must have worked. But I'm just like, imagine them saying that about Magic. Like, Magic, we going to let you get 40, but we ain't going to let you feed these other dudes. Like, that wasn't possible. Like, Magic's like, dude, y'all ain't going to force me in a box. Like, I'm going to do what I do. I might get 40.
Right, but I'm still going to get my 10.
I'm going to stuff some other stat sheet column is getting stuffed. You ain't just going to box me in and be like, you only a scorer this game. And so Ant-Man, I feel like you can do that too. Luka, you shouldn't be able to do that too. Luka's bag should be to the point where he's like, nah, I got to get these dudes some buckets.
Right. And he can do that. And we know he can do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm not worried about, I feel like they just They got to realize that that's the adjustment. And I feel like if we can realize it, they going to realize it. I mean, Luka knows. You know what I'm saying? And that's why, and see, that's the thing about the playoffs. The narrative changes game to game. Like, people don't understand this is a 3-month marathon. You can't get, you know what I'm saying? And you playing the same team. So it ain't no what happened last game. It ain't no carryover. Every game is its own story with these dudes. You know what I'm saying? So you can lose by 1, you can lose by 50. The next game is 0-0.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, we lost by 25. Like, you know what I mean? But a lot of people are, huh?
It's one game. It only counts one.
Right. They up 1-0. We win tomorrow, it's 1-1. You know what I'm saying? But the Laker haters, it's Christmas for them. You know what I'm saying? Us losing by 25. Oh, the sky is falling. Like, I'm like, dude, like, come on. Like, I don't know. I was gonna say the series don't start till the home team loses, but we just lost. So the series has started. You know what I'm saying? But again, I think the Lakers gonna be playing into June. You know what I'm saying? This the first game of a long, you know what I'm saying, of a long stretch. I'm not ready to panic yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nah, the thing that worries me from game one is AR-15. Like, and when I feel like JJ is talking about the physicality and not being ready, like, it ain't no way LeBron. And even with LeBron, like you saying, put your head. I mean, that's Julius Randle. Like, he a bull in a china shop too.
Right.
And he about 15 years younger than LeBron. I know they played together for a year, I think, maybe.
I think they did.
So I don't know. I felt like he came in with that chip on his shoulder. Like, I've battled LeBron in practice. I know what he's trying to do, and low key, I'm built to withstand what he's trying to do. So I mean, I feel like that's a good matchup, but still, LeBron ain't no excuse. Like,
I don't even think he shot in the first quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't buy it with him. Like, he's gonna have to figure it out. Like, you the damn GOAT. Julius Randle ain't gonna be shit. How many Kobe stoppers did we hear about that never really stopped him?
Right. If Ant and Luka are 1 and 2 in this series, LeBron, you gotta be a clear 3. You know what I'm saying? It can't be Nas Reed or Jaden McDaniel. You know what I'm saying? Because they both outscored everybody but Luka. We only had one dude with 20. They had both of them dudes, you know what I'm saying, who are like others. And that's what I'm saying. Our others got to be better than their others. Vando, Finney-Smith, Vincent, all y'all got to do what they was doing. You right, though. Nas Reed was 6th man of the year. You know what I'm saying? So he should be expected to repeat what he did. But them other dudes, we gotta choke them off.
And see, I actually like what you said about LeBron more than what you were just saying about Vando and the rest of our others. Like, there should be no competition about the third best player and that's clearly got to be LeBron.
No, absolutely, that's our advantage.
Now, whether Vando gonna be able to outplay Nas Reed or
I'm saying not outplay, because you're right. When you said Nas Reed was 6th man of the year, I was like, yeah, actually that's a great point.
Or
but I'm
McDaniel,
just saying,
or
they got to give us something. You know what I'm saying? They in the regular season, every game we got something from one of those dudes.
Yeah, I feel like treading water or trying to be in somewhere in the same ballpark as their others is kind of max for our others. Like, Jackson Hayes just don't get done by Rudy Gobert. Like, be in the ballpark.
Right.
Finney Smith, be in the ballpark of what Nas Reed is doing,
or McDaniel.
Gabe Vincent, be in the ballpark of what Conley is doing.
Right. Nah.
Like
LeBron, right.
You
got
got
to have a clear advantage as the third best dude in this series. And AR, you should be competing for 4.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Our advantage is at the top of this series.
Right.
Not in the others, just like you said. And that didn't happen in game 1. You know what I'm saying? And I'm confident that that's not going to continue the rest of the series.
Yeah, I'm not as confident as you. Like I said, I have concerns about AR.
I think that's justified because he has shown in some big moments that it could be too big.
Who was guarding him? Was it McDaniel guarding him? I know Randall was guarding LeBron. I think maybe McDaniel was guarding
Luka.
And AR and
Conley.
Oh, is that who it was?
I think.
And then Rui and Conley, because they kept
want Rui to post him.
Right. So Conley was guarding Rui, or ended up on Rui a lot. And I know AR ended up on Ant-Man a lot. And Ant-Man, they kept being like, national team teammates or whatever. And it was like, no, I mean, Ant-Man was on the Olympic team. Like, AR might have been in the workouts.
Right.
But
that's like how they go ahead.
I mean, just Ant was on the team. Like, quit making it seem like these two dudes are anywhere equivalent. Like, that's
blasphemous to Ant.
For real. And he was doing AR like that. And so I don't know what the matchup like. If it's Conley, then okay, AR, you gotta be, because they calling it a big 3. And for a while, AR was substantiating that call, like, yeah, that's what it is.
Nah.
But I haven't seen it in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I need to see it, and it ain't gonna be easy to get it off against the dudes he's playing against.
Nah, it's crazy because they were saying he should have a good matchup. Like, he should have their third best defender. You know what I'm saying? But their third best defender is pretty solid still. Especially if they got Randall on LeBron.
Right. Oh, right. Right.
That
he's not supposed to be a defender.
That's what I'm saying. If Randall can guard LeBron, that frees up their wings. One, you get Luka, one, you get AR. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's AR on Ant, that's not a win. Then AR is out the game. You know what I'm saying? And then Luka on McDaniel. Nah.
Luka's gonna win. Luka won that.
Right, in that game. Right.
I just felt like you could see his mentality when Rudy switched out on him. Like, he got a lot of times where Gobert switched out on him, and he was trying to kill him.
Right.
And it's like, dude, like, go make a play. Like, hook somebody else up. Like, make that happen with 5 seconds left in the game. And it's like, all right, Rudy, I'm about to kill you for game. You know that, right? Like, he was going for Rudy's throat
every play
in the beginning. And it's like, it ain't no kill shots in the first quarter.
Right. Nah. And it's when you said that, I was like, damn, that's absolutely when you're supposed to get everybody else to eat. When you got Rudy away from the basket. You know what I'm saying? You got Rudy now out by the 3-point line. This when them other dudes really eat. You know what I'm saying? Now, and that's another great point. He said it's no kill shots in the first quarter. And that's the thing, though. He probably had 15.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we was up 7.
Right.
But nobody else was in rhythm. And see, that was the thing I didn't like, though, during the game. When it was going on, I said, what is Reddick doing with the substitution pattern? He took Luka out at that point and brought in the mask dude. What's the mask dude? The dude that wears the mask that we just brought up on a 2-way. He was on a 2-way and we gave him a real contract.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
But Reddick brought him in.
Oh, really?
For Luka. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, this is not when you get cute, yo. You know what I'm saying? If Luka ain't tired, he shouldn't be coming out. Like, I feel like that's how it should be in the playoffs. If your main dudes, you saw in that
Jordan Goodwin.
Right, him. I was about to look him up, but he brought him in, in the first quarter, took Luka out, or maybe it was early second quarter, but he took Luka out after Luka was cooking and brought dude in, and that's when they came back. And then when Luka came back in, you know what I'm saying, we never got that rhythm going again. But I was going to say, you saw in that Golden State-Houston game, during one of the timeouts, they was in the huddle. Steve Kerr was like, Jimmy, you all right? Steph, you cool? Dre, you good? All right. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Like, that's how I feel like JJ needs to be, like LeBron. If you don't need a break, you know what I'm saying? You good. And Luka, if you don't need I feel like substitutions in the offs for those dudes should be when needed. Not no rotation. We got to bring Goodwin in. Like, nah. You know what I'm saying? But again, hopefully they gonna figure all that out. You know what I mean? Like, if we can see it, you know what I'm saying, they got all them dudes behind the benches with iPads. They got to see it.
Right. Nah. Hold on, I feel a sneeze coming, but it won't come. Nah, I mean, it's a must-win game going into tomorrow. And Minnesota has the kill mentality. Like, they was like, when he get big game in his scope, whether it was KD last year or Luka and LeBron now, he liked to go big game hunting.
And Luka beat him last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I love how you keep making it clear that Minnesota can do this. You know what I'm saying? You keep reiterating the fact that this is not out of Minnesota's scope. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, it's like no way that LeBron and Luka gonna let these dudes do this to them in the first round with home court. But you like, hold on. They have Ant. You know what I'm saying? Nas Reed is 6th man of the year. Like, they have pieces. And you right, but I just feel like, man, I wouldn't even want to imagine the backlash on these dudes if they go out first round. Like, they gonna, you know what I'm saying? They gonna hear it. So
yeah. No, I mean, LeBron mostly, like, and that's how he needs to start playing. Like, as much as you've done, your legacy is still on the line. Like,
right, at least a portion of it.
You want to be a GOAT.
At least the Laker portion.
And that's a big portion.
Right, because I'm about to say, you know how Laker fans are. Yeah, you was great somewhere else, but you didn't do that shit here.
Right.
Right. You know Karl Malone. You know what I'm saying? You got all them goddamn records and you in the Hall of Fame, but your jersey ain't going up here.
Right. Nah, and I think if it wasn't game one, I think, LeBron had kind of a chase down block in game one where he pinned somebody's shit. And whoever was doing the game, maybe Richard Jefferson, whoever was like, yeah, that's the image that might go on his statue out front. And I was like, statue.
And actually, I think Jeannie Buss, did she already say he was getting one?
Probably.
Right. But nah, I feel you. He said statue.
Wilt don't have a statue.
Mm,
Like he's Wilt to me. Like, I mean, Wilt came here, won one. We
mm,
obviously didn't get the best of Wilt,
right.
but we retired
Nah,
his number. And Brian, you get that for sure, but Wilt ain't got no statue,
right. He said he's Wilt to me.
which is
A lot.
Wilt was when we first started to understand basketball, Wilt was the GOAT.
Right.
It took
Nah.
a while for us to get to the point that's like, damn, dude, Kareem probably got him.
Right.
And Magic, is the dude that we would start a team with. Like, but they had to go get that from Wilt. Like, Wilt was the one holding that for the first 15, 20 years of my life. And so,
Right. And they only surpassed Wilt because of championships. Like Wilt's numbers are still mythical. Like
right.
numbers wise, Wilt is a mythical figure in basketball, in NBA. You look at Wilt's numbers and you like, this is not real. Like no one actually did this. And the
Average
fact that right, and 25 boards. You know what I'm saying? 50 and 25 for a season, 100-point game. Like he averaged 15 assists. I mean, just some of the shit that he did is like, and then the fact that it's not a lot of footage of it makes it even more like mythical. You know what I'm saying? So Magic, I don't even know if Magic and Kareem ever passed him like numbers wise. Kareem did it because of longevity.
Right.
But Kareem was never like 50 a game or 100 in a game. You know what I'm saying? Kareem never even scored 70, I don't think.
Right. I barely remember him getting a 50.
Right. You know what I'm saying? He was just consistent 30.
Right.
We'll just give you 30 a night for 15 seasons. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Like, Wilt's numbers are still out there. You know what I mean? Even with today's game with the three, no one's averaging 50. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, nah. So that Wilt LeBron comparison is very it's right on. You know what I'm
The
saying?
Laker Nation, especially.
Right.
Like, no doubt you are great. You Mount Rushmore in the
Of the
league.
league.
Right.
But you might not be Mount Rushmore of the Lakers.
Right. Like,
Which is crazy.
Wilt, you're now the third team center of the Lakers.
Right.
And could be fourth team if we fuck around with George Mikan.
That's crazy.
But Kareem and Shaq got the first two slots.
Right.
That's
because of rings.
Right. And how long they were here and the work they did. Like, so, at best, you're the third best center. Wilt.
Wow. In Laker history.
And George Mikan's like, hold up.
Nah.
I started this gangster shit.
Nah. And I got rings.
Right. 5 of them. So, yeah, it's, once again, it's a must-win game. It's hard for me to even go down the path of what needs to change outside of LeBron and Luka. Like, that's what it needs to be. You said it. Like, they can't let us lose. Like, we got arguably the two best players in the series.
And if not, 2 of the best 3.
Right.
Clear. And that usually wins playoff basketball. You know what I'm saying?
What you thinking of some of these other series? You see anything in these first couple of games that make you reassess how you see in the playoffs?
I mean, I think Vegas was right about Golden State.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's the first takeaway. Because we was talking about how valued they were by Vegas for being a 7 seed, you know what I'm saying? But from what they did to Houston in that first game, I'm like, man. And it's crazy because Houston just looked and played so young. And even Udoka, I mean, I don't know if this was him being a young coach or him just not trusting his players, but I feel like he kept Dylan Brooks and Green out too long in the fourth. Like he tried to sub them in with like 5 minutes left, but they ended up not getting it until like 3 minutes left. And so they probably got involved in one or two plays before the game was decided. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he just forgot about them or he was like, they not doing work, so I'm keeping them out. But the dudes that he had in there was tricking. You know what I'm saying? They missed so many threes and free throws. All I kept thinking was they need KD. I was like, New York wants KD, but Houston, y'all need KD, man. Everything they kept missing. They kept missing throws and threes. I was like, yo, that's what KD do. You know what I'm saying? KD's not going to have y'all 2 for 15 from 3 and 5 for 12 from the line. You know what I'm saying? Taking them same shots y'all got Dylan Brooks and Eason and Van Fleet taking. Because y'all got young pieces, but it's just not that one dude. You know what I mean? And I just think Golden State completely exposed that. Like, you know, that was, I think that's the most surprising. Well, not even the most surprising, because we said that that's what Vegas was telling us was going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But I guess the most made me have the most caution for the Lakers. I was like, okay, these dudes are a real threat. Shit, Minnesota's a real threat. But seeing Golden State in the second round, you know what I'm saying? You know, playoff Jimmy.
I feel like the line for game one was maybe only Golden State. Like it was only a 1 or 2 point line.
I want to say by tip-off, Houston was favored by a point.
And that's a trip that Golden State can be so heavy a favorite on the series.
Right.
But for whatever reason.
And to win it.
Mm-hmm.
They way more favored than Houston. They got Houston's like 22-1 to win the whole thing. Golden State's like 6 or 7-1.
Even lower than that, because I did check series prices probably Saturday morning. And Golden State, the Lakers was probably down to 450 to
win the whole thing.
To come out of the West.
Oh, right. And 9-1 to win the whole.
G-State had come down to like 5.5 or 5. So
okay.
Cats is begging them. But for them to be that big a favorite in them rounds and then to be a 1-point favorite or a 1-point dog in the game, it's like Vegas, y'all trying to have it both ways.
And they got it both ways. Well, now actually they didn't in the game.
Right.
If you bet Golden State in that game, Vegas took a bath.
And why? Well, I mean, obviously people were betting Houston. That's why the line shifted. Like if people was just handing Golden State, but Vegas couldn't have made a line big enough. Like they wasn't gonna make Golden State -6 or 7.
Right.
Somebody else's game. Even if they did, Golden State, like we covered that. Like
right.
We beat them by 10. So whatever number Vegas, whatever number y'all could have came up with,
we would have covered.
Right.
And it's crazy because, now they do the odds during the game. They tell you about the odds while you're watching the game. And they were saying how at the beginning, Houston was favored by 1. And it was like now, live betting, they're +16. I was
Right.
like, wow.
Vegas has no allegiance. It's like Vegas, y'all just gonna lead that number that quick. Y'all just gonna all them Houston minus ones. Y'all just gonna be like, yeah, them is dead.
Right. We're still trying to make money.
Right.
But
Nah.
Houston only lost by 12. So if you had took that 16,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? But I just looked, Houston is favored in game 2 by 2.5.
Make that make sense. Yeah,
They
see.
how can they get older overnight?
Right.
They're the same team. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, and what's the Lakers? The Lakers was favored by like 6 game 1.
Right. They favor by 5.5 game 2. Right.
Vegas is daring you. I dare you to stand by your convictions.
Right. Oh, who was
Vegas is
that on?
Vegas is like, no, we gonna stand by our convictions.
Right. Nah.
We don't give
Oh
a damn
yeah.
what happened game 1.
Huh?
They like, we don't give a damn what happened game 1. Lakers -5, Houston -2. Like game 1,
Nah.
game 1.
Nah. These is the lines.
Right.
What's OKC? Oh, damn. OKC favored by 14.5 in a playoff game.
Yeah, I'm liking all the dogs.
Mm.
Every single dog.
Mm.
Golden State, Minnesota to cover, and
Mm.
Memphis to cover. Golden State win. Like
Right. Nah, that's the one I like. A Golden State straight win.
at plus money.
Right. Plus 2.5. That's crazy. I don't see what Houston can do. In the other series, I see what the other teams can do. You know what I'm saying? Like Memphis, they not 50 points worse than OKC. Like 15.5 in a playoff game, that's disrespectful.
It
You
is
play that just on GP, you know what I'm saying? That they probably won't allow them to get beat by 15 in a playoff game.
after getting dug by 50.
Right. And Ja coming out and be like, we'll never play like that again. And it's really on Ja. And it's crazy because they were saying a couple years ago, you would have took Ja over Ant.
Mm.
And now, you know what I'm saying? That's not even in the conversation. Damn, Kawhi got 39. Like this Clipper game is coming down the wire. The Clippers are up 3.
Right.
Oh, Joker just threw it away. The Clippers are gonna come away with game 2.
Yep. It's over. ESPN website is ahead of the telecast.
Oh, really? It's final?
Yep. Well, it says 0.0 left on the clock in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it says final on ESPN.com.
If Brown gets a 3, no, he missed it. Joker gets a 3, he missed it. Yep, ball game. Wow, the Clippers tied it up.
40 on 19 shots. 39 on 19 shots.
Right, 15 for 19. That's efficient as fuck. And he's stoic as hell. You know, it's playoff basketball. It's how you got to do.
Right. Nah, and I mean, he maybe had 20 some odd in game 1. They was on him for saying he didn't do enough game 1.
Right, they mad he only took 15 shots.
Mm,
And he only took 19 today.
right.
but he made way more of them.
Yeah, and they like James Harden. Like, you can't be the best player, dude. Like, if you're the best player, we lose.
Right. Nah,
We need you to take a step back.
that's crazy. Kawhi does come through in the big games, dude. Like you can't fight that. I mean, he's so stoic too. Like that's the part. Like after what he just did, look how he acted. He just went for 40.
Nah.
I mean, this series gonna go 6 or 7.
Right. That's a good omen. Like, both series that have played 2 games are one apiece.
Mm.
Because the Knicks, Detroit got up off the deck.
Right. Because that was one of the other underdogs I liked was Bim. Those Bim in Milwaukee. Milwaukee got blown out first game too.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. Nah. So you saying we get to 1-1 like everybody else, huh?
That's the plan. That's the hope.
Right.
If we don't,
It still ain't over.
Yeah, it ain't. But that's a tough ask.
Right. Nah, it is. I mean, again, I'm not worried. Like we gotta get the win, but I feel like we got the dudes to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what Kawhi just did tonight. Kawhi was like, "We not losing." Period. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we need LeBron and or Luka to do tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Period. You said you wanted to update on the Jackie Robinson.
Oh yeah, switch reels.
Right.
Your state.
While we still got some time.
Yeah, man. Did all my research. Couldn't find anything where the Dodgers had made a statement about the Department of Defense removing Jackie Robinson's service record from their website. But Pee Wee Reese, this is what pissed me off in the stuff I came across. So Pee Wee Reese was the shortstop, Brooklyn Dodgers. Jackie Robinson was second baseman. Pee Wee Reese from Alabama, somewhere in the South. Supposedly the kumbaya moment is when Pee Wee went over to Jackie and put his arm around him and just kind of said to all the racist people in the stands, leave this man alone. Like, I'm good with him. So they kept Pee Wee Reese's service record up on the website, this same website where they had pulled Jackie's. They kept Pee Wee's up. And in Pee Wee's bio or description, it talks about
that
iconic moment where he went and saved Jackie from racism. So we gonna shout out
Jackie from racism.
We gonna shout out, and I love Pee Wee Reese. Like, he's a Dodger. I ain't hating on Pee Wee Reese. Like,
right.
Put that.
It's not his fault. It's the way they manipulated the story.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
The man who was undergoing all of that, we're gonna remove him because that's DEI.
Right.
The dude who chose to go stand by him for a moment in that,
right.
We're gonna keep that story in there.
And we're gonna make him the man who saved him from racism. He wasn't saved from racism, you know what I'm saying? He still had to deal with that shit. Right. That was just a cool moment, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, okay, so the offense was they took Jackie's military service down off the Department of Defense website. That was the actual offense that the administration did.
Yeah.
Okay, because I remember last time we wasn't quite sure. We knew they had took something down, but I
Right.
wasn't quite sure who it was and what they took down. So they
Right.
took his okay. So
In
now
the name of DEI, they said we are complying with President Trump's, anti-DEI, taking all that
stance,
anti-woke, yeah, just all that. So we were complying with it. That's why Jackie and some others came down. But yeah, Dodgers never made a statement. I didn't go to Jackie Robinson Day. I just couldn't pull the trigger. I know I shot you a text, I think, seeing what your availability was, because right up till probably 5 o'clock, I was like, dude, I should just go. Like, I wrestled with it the whole day and ultimately got to the point where it's like, dude, like, we need to show up in numbers on these days just so that they understand. But I mean, it shouldn't take all that. Like, the Dodgers shit, if nobody came on Jackie Robinson Day, that don't change what he did for the country and for baseball, for the Dodgers. None of that
right,
gets changed. So ultimately, I was like, yeah, I ain't going. But stayed home, watched all the pregame festivities. I know they had Jackie's granddaughters there, along with some other kids from the area who were getting, I think, some kind of Jackie Robinson scholarship. I saw that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar met with the teams before the game, like out at the Jackie Robinson statue in center field. Both teams, the Rockies and the Dodgers, went out there, met with Kareem. Kareem kind of just told them what Jackie Robinson meant to him. And he talked about Trump being anti-DEI. Like, he didn't go fully in on what all the details was, but Kareem did mention something about Trump is against DEI, like we know that, and he just continued on in his message. So I mean, Kareem was solid in his message. Like, he touched on some of the stuff that the Dodgers should have been touching on. He could have went deeper with it, but he did enough to be like, and that's all we was asking for the Dodgers. Like, let us know y'all see it. Like,
acknowledgement.
Right. Kareem did at least that on just the DEI stuff and how that plays in. I don't even know if he went into details about how the DEI stuff played in with Jackie Robinson, but he made mention of the fact that the current administration's anti-DEI, and so, that's going to rear its ugly head in some of the stuff that they're doing back then, in terms of last Tuesday, and the stuff that they're going to do in the years coming up. So Kareem was solid, but, the rest of the pregame ceremony wasn't nothing special. Like, I felt like it was just it could have been any other year Jackie Robinson celebration.
Right.
And what they did would have passed. Like, there was nothing to recognize the moment in time.
Right. And what was going on with him.
Right.
And it's funny because I saw that about Kareem. I saw he spoke. He gave the two teams a speech. And I remember we were saying it should be Magic or Mookie. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh, they went with Kareem. And that's the thing. Like, I feel like he can only make so much of a statement because he's not a part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, he did acknowledge it, but he like, it's not my role to get all into it. I'm not on the team. I don't work for the team. And that's why Magic or Mookie. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
either one of them actually are affiliated with the Dodgers, who were the people affected by this. Jackie ain't here no more. You know what I'm saying? So
But his
it
wife
gotta be,
is. So that's one correction and retraction from last week. Jackie Robinson, Rachel Robinson, still alive. I think you
right,
texted me that.
right,
I know
yeah,
at some point last week, I was like, when she was alive, she was coming to
right. She
Dodger
would be
Stadium on
right,
Jackie
right,
Robinson Day.
Right. And she still is alive, which is crazy. I think she's in her hundreds.
Right.
I think she's like 101.
At least. Yeah.
Damn. That's crazy. That's a hell of a life. You know what I'm saying?
She went to a game. She went to the Mets game last year. The Mets play whoever in New York. And so I don't know where she lives, but I mean, if you ain't coming to Dodger Stadium, then I think being as close to Brooklyn as you can get, which is the Mets.
Right. Is the next best thing.
Right. So yeah, man, it's disappointing. At this point, I feel like it's pretty much dead and gone. I know I heard Mookie talk on why he went to the White House. I can't remember if it was an interview or something that I read, but Mookie talked about just the whole idea of him not wanting it to be about him. I think this was an interview. I remember him saying it. Like, he felt like when he did this before, in terms of not going, he felt like he made it too much about him when it should have been more about the team. And so essentially that is why he was saying he went this time.
Because he was the last one to commit this time. You know what I'm saying? And that's why when you were saying that, I was like, well, him being the last one kind of started making it about him. It was like, is Mookie going or not? You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people were saying he should have held his ground. So I think it was like Kike that came out and was like, they just kept us in a room. We stayed in the room for like an hour, and then we came out, and it was basically just a photo op. That's how Kike made the experience seem. You know what I'm saying? So then I was like, well, then what was the point? If it was just that simple, then y'all really didn't need to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's crazy how you were saying it felt disappointing, because I went to the game the day after Jackie Robinson. And I felt dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even post about it. Like, I was like, I'm here, but
you didn't post. Damn.
I didn't. You know what I'm saying? And I took pictures, and you know what I'm saying? We were sitting in the bullpen, I got video, but I was just like, I don't know how I feel about them right now. I mean, as far as like promoting the brand, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I still love the Dodgers like that, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, they didn't, I felt dirty. That's the only way I can put it. That's why when you said it was disappointing, I was like, damn, that's how I felt that next day. I was at the game, but I was just like, you know what I'm saying?
And I started to try to go to that game too, because I mean, just having the whole idea of going on that Jackie Robinson day, like I said, I ain't been to a game all season, so I'm jonesing to go.
Right.
So much so that I think the Padres may have had a home game on Thursday, and part of me was like, dude, I should just drive down to Dago. Like, I can't remember who they were playing.
The Cubs, I think.
Huh?
Was it the Cubs?
Right.
Because it was the Cubs and Rockies who tag teamed out here. They played us, then we played them.
Right. And yeah, I mean,
I heard that series was popping. They were saying the energy in this Petco for that series was off the hook. They were talking about how different it was from Dodger Stadium. But they were trying to be like, well, we were playing the Rockies, you know what I'm saying? So, of course, it ain't going to be hype. But they were saying Petco was hyped for that series. Because, when we play them in the playoff, that stadium is hyped.
Right.
And now they're making it seem like it's like that every you know what I'm saying, every series.
Yeah, and the Cubs travel, and that was part of what made me ultimately be like, yeah, I ain't going to go. Because I know the Cubs travel, the Padres is excited because they got the best record in baseball. I was like, yeah, I don't.
This game could be sold out.
Right, and I just don't want to be in that environment as much as I want to go to a game. Because if the Dodgers had a home game on Thursday, I probably would have went. I just gotten to a point where I was like, all right, dude, like, I just need to break down and go. But I started to think, I was thinking about going to that Wednesday game that you went to.
Hey, no, we went to that one.
And that was
And
the one where we scored like 7 runs
in the first inning, and then Bobby Miller gave them all back. And it was crazy because while it was happening, I kept saying, I was like, dude, because he was, he was, well, clearly he ended up giving up the lead, but he was shaky before he blew up. And I kept being like, dude, they grading you, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's 7-1, like you competing to get another shot. And before you knew it was bases loaded. He gave up that grand slam. I was like, see, because I was rooting for him, man. I wanted him to do good. Because Dustin May is my favorite Dodger, but I like Bobby Miller too. You know what I'm saying? From when they were younger, like when they were coming up, those was two prospects that I loved. I mean, May's had 2 surgeries now, so he's not the same dude. When he came up, he was throwing 101.
Right.
Now it's like 97, 98, but it's still filthy. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Miller was similar. And that night, he was still hitting 99. He was between 97 and 99, so he had good stuff. He just made a couple mistakes that they did not miss. And that's the thing. The Rockies are not a good hitting team. They didn't even score against the Padres. In a 3-game series, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like he gave that up to the Phillies or something. I mean, it's like that's the Rockies.
Right.
And the way the Dodgers are, who knows if he gonna get another look? And it's crazy because as soon as they took him out, I was like, he on his way back down to Oklahoma City. I was like, they might make him take the bus so he can think about it. You know what I'm saying? And sure enough, the next day he got optioned back.
Wow.
The next day. I'm telling you, the Dodgers ain't playing. Everybody that's had that role, like they started Roblinski, he didn't do good. He went back down. They brought Knack up. He didn't do good. He went back down. Miller got his shot. It's like, yo, because they got dudes coming. You know what I'm saying? Kershaw just pitched in Double-A, and Ohtani is eventually going to pitch. So they like...
Gonsolin.
Right. We don't need to play around with this other slot. Like, if you want this slot, you got to do what May did. Because May was battling with those dudes in spring training. It was May, Miller, and Gonsolin for the 5th slot. Then Miller got hit in the head on like the first spring training game. First batter hit a line drive, hit him in the head. So that set him back. And then Gonsolin ended up getting hurt. But then May was balling the whole time. So I think he would have won it anyway. You know what I'm saying? But the Dodgers, man, and the crazy thing is, Miller would probably be the Rockies' best starter. You know what I'm saying? They don't have nobody like him. Every starter that they started that series, I kept saying, this dude wouldn't be in the majors if he wasn't on the Rockies. Like, every one of their starters is like, the only reason he's in the major leagues is because he on the Rockies. You know what I'm saying? And Miller, they would love to have Miller. And we like, get out of here, kid.
Right. And then we left there and went to Texas, and the bats fell asleep.
Right, but the pitching held up.
Right. Well, the starting pitching.
Right.
And the bullpen for the most part.
Except for that one game where Yates gave up the walk-off.
Right. That was Sasaki. That was Sasaki's best start.
Right.
He went to the inning.
Now, see, he's one dude we not sending down to Double-A. All them other young kids come up and blow it, and they go down. But him, they going to let him learn up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I think we can, the curse situation is, I feel like, still out there. Like, I feel like we haven't, like, they swept the Rockies.
Right.
That was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And we kind of said last Monday was like, hopefully when we come back next week and we reporting on Jackie Robinson Day and, hopefully the Dodgers will have acknowledged and done some stuff. The streak will be broken. They'll be on their 7-game win streak. And sure, I mean, they should legit be on a 6-game win streak, if not for that walk-off homer.
Right. So it's 5 out of 6. But
They not
again,
playing baseball.
huh?
They not playing good baseball. Like,
Nah. And I was gonna say that. I was like, they still not hitting on all cylinders. You know what I'm saying? They winning these games, but they haven't put it all together yet. Either the O is on and the pitching is terrible, or the pitching is terrible and the O is on. So they got room to grow. But I still haven't lost that feeling of feeling dirty about going to the game. Like I'm watching the games, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad they winning, but it's still something like it don't feel like it's been tied up. You know what I'm saying? It ain't been a bow put on this whole thing yet. It's still, you know what I'm saying? It's still some unfinished business with how this whole thing went down.
and the LA Times wrote an article. I think Dylan Hernandez wrote something probably a day or two, probably the day they went to the White House.
Mm.
And I ended up reading it and ended up getting into the comments and actually responded to some of the comments. Because, a lot of people was in there. A lot of people was thanking him for writing it. Like, I felt the same way because he was essentially saying the Dodgers shouldn't have went. I'm trying to look for it.
He said, so he took a stance.
He did. Yeah, his April 15th, Dodger celebration of Jackie Robinson Day rings hollow in wake of White House visit.
Wow.
He didn't make the connection. He didn't bring up any of the Department of Defense Jackie Robinson stuff. He just looked at it from the perspective of those two things. Like, how are you visiting the White House? And then 2 weeks later talking about we going to celebrate Jackie Robinson.
Right.
There was some of the comments, some of the comments was bringing up the whole Department of Defense thing.
Right.
And that's kind of where I went in and amened. And
it's funny how he couldn't make that connection for his article. You know what I'm saying? Like how somebody didn't bring that up. He didn't run the article by nobody or nothing. Because I feel like that would have really tied it up. Like it was cool that he said just because they went to the White House, and now you celebrating Jackie Robinson. But shit, the White House did something directly to Jackie Robinson in the last couple weeks. You know what I'm saying? So it's bigger than just that. It's actually that the White House is taking shots at Jackie Robinson.
Right. Yeah, nah, he didn't bring that up at all because I'm going back through the article right now.
Right, but nah, I mean, it's even cool that he took a stance, though.
Right.
Because I don't ever remember, like, the LA Times, do they normally get in on shit like that?
And that's what a lot of the criticism was like, dude, basically shut up and dribble. Like, write about sports, keep politics out. And now I'm sitting here looking. He wrote something else on March 30th called Dodgers visiting Trump's White House goes against everything they represent. I haven't read that one yet.
When was that written?
March 30th.
So that was before.
Right. Before they visited the White House.
And before that other one he wrote where he tied, Jackie Robinson Day being hollow to them going to the White House.
And then that same day, and I don't know how they can see this, but this article says Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has strong words for Dodgers on importance of Jackie Robinson Day. So I feel like it's
leaning that way. He just needs to tie it up. Like, man, the White House is attacking Jackie Robinson.
Right, because they got Kareem's quote in this article. Trump wants to get rid of DEI, and I think it's just a ruse to discriminate. You have to take that into consideration when we think about what's going on today. Yeah, none of them made it as plain as they could have.
Right. They took the man's service off the website, and it took people yelling quickly for y'all to put it back up within a day.
Actually, they do have something about what they did to Jackie in this article. Not that Kareem spoke on it to the Dodgers, but they did. It says this spring, the Department of Defense removed an article from its website detailing Robinson's history of military service, only to later restore it amid a wave of public criticism in what appeared to be a capitulation to Trump's anti-DEI stance.
Okay, that's what we wanted.
Right, but this, yeah. They humming around it, but ain't nobody struck.
That was pretty clear, though.
It was, but he didn't go on to say this is why the Dodgers shouldn't have went to the White House.
Right. That's the next step. But I mean, I feel like somebody needed to put out there, look what they did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, the next step is now to tie that to that's enough reason for y'all to have not gone to the White House. And then after you go, a week or two later, you're gonna have the Jackie Robinson celebration. And you know what I'm saying? Like the two don't go together.
Right. So now we this is meat on the bone still. Like the Dodgers, we talked last week about they was in an 0-2 count, and you were saying they need to at least take a pitch,
right?
Try to work themselves back into the count,
right? And you wanted them to line the 1-2 pitch to right center, and I think they basically took the pitch,
right?
You know what I'm saying? They didn't strike out, but they didn't hit the ball,
right? They like throw me another one,
right?
Give me another chance.
Right. Next year.
Yeah. That's not cool, man.
It's not.
Going to the game like that. That's what you don't want.
Wait, say that again?
I was saying it's not cool that you felt that way going to the game. And then I was like, that's right. What you don't want. Like you don't want your fandom, your fanhood to be compromised.
Right. Nah. And honestly, it came partially because from all the reaction I was seeing from other Dodger fans. Like, other Dodger fans are more pissed than us.
Right.
Like, I've been hearing them talk about a boycott. We boycotting the Dodgers. We not going to no games, and we not watching them on TV. And I'm like, and that's why, and again, that's why I was like I already got these tickets. You know what I'm saying?
You wore a disguise.
Yeah, right. I had a Bobby Valentine mustache on. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so hard for me because I still have a feeling for them as a team. You know what I'm saying? But I totally get the community feeling. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo. And that's why I was going to say, it would have been so simple. Like, it's not like it's a hard fix. It's not like they're like, well, what y'all want us to do? You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, like that acknowledgement in the paper of what actually happened. Like, we found out one place. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Dodgers could have brought that up. That could have been in the Dodgers statement. Like, this right here is why we not going to the White House. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not really, that's not that easy to argue. Like, I mean, you know what I mean? What's going to be the counter to that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay, then, then y'all, okay, I guess that's why y'all not going. Like, to me, that's what makes it a little bit more difficult to swallow is it's not like it's a problem that is a very hard solution to. It's not like, again, what do y'all want us to do? Like, if it was that kind of scenario, you know what I'm saying, then we could be like, all right, it ain't really much they can do, but it's a lot that they can do. And then you see little ancillary parts of it being done by people who ain't part of the Dodgers.
Right.
Like Kareem, and then that Dylan Hernandez article. And it's like, it's kind of hard to expect them to be as thorough as we want them to be because it's not their problem. They just speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? A Dodger representative could be the one to tie it all together. You know what I'm saying? State what the Dodgers did. I mean, it's too late to not go to the White House now, but this is what they could have done. You know what I'm saying? State what the White House did. Say we didn't feel like, you know what I'm saying, with Jackie Robinson Day right around the corner, we just don't feel like this is a good thing for us at this time.
Right. Or I said it in jest last week, but the more I think about it, it's like, all right, shit. I mean, if they had all gone wearing Jackie Robinson jerseys, like we gonna go. I mean, and that's something like, all right, Mookie, like, you claim to be woke. When I was reading all this, it came up about the or Mookie. Well, eventually the Dodgers boycotted playing a game back in 2020. When I think Jacob Blake, I hope I ain't getting his name wrong, but I think he was shot in Milwaukee. In like late August, early September, after we had been through all that in the summer of 2020 after George Floyd. And I remember even the NBA in the bubble, like they shut down for like 2-3 days around this. And I was doing the research, the Mookie thing came up, and Mookie basically said he told his teammates, I can't play. And so then Clayton Kershaw ended up speaking up and being like, what can we as white players do to support our black brothers? Like literally he said that. And he talked about how like we ended up deciding the best way for us to do this was to not play either. And so all that to say, Mookie, you want to be, the emotional leader of the team.
This was your chance.
Right. It wouldn't have been that hard to be like, all right, man, like if we're going to go to the White House, we got to do something. Like we going to go.
I mean, the league wore Jackie Robinson jerseys.
Right. And we're Dodgers.
Right. That wouldn't even been out of line.
Right. And we're Dodgers.
Right. For them to all show up in 42.
And so, you're saying I don't feel like it's too late. Like I felt like if whomever is talking about this protest or boycott or whatever, like even if it don't get to that extent, like we should be able to do enough. And my perspective on this changes after what we did with the Rams in terms of getting them to come back and hearing Stan Kroenke and like all top Ram leadership basically saying we
acknowledged that they heard us.
Right. We saw what y'all was doing. Like we knew that y'all was here and that y'all was. Right. And so to think that we couldn't raise enough of a voice to
get on their radar,
just be like, dude, we need to do something. Like, because to me, it's never the Dodgers. And I'm pretty sure we said this last week. I mean, the Dodgers can just wake up on a Thursday morning and just be like, dude, let's ride for Jackie today. Like, we don't need no special reason. It ain't got to be April 15th. Trump ain't got to be coming for him. Like, on any given day, if we want to wake up and say we're celebrating Jackie and we want to reaffirm that anybody that, comes for his legacy or questions his legacy, we
problems with us.
Right. So, the moment's passed. I don't know that people's feelings are going to go away.
They not. Folks are still mad.
Yeah, it's not too late to me for the Dodgers to do something.
Nah, I mean, again, that's a perspective check because you're right. Like, they can say something at any point. Like, we've been hearing the backlash about our visit to the White House. You know what I'm saying? And we just want to say X, Y, Z. At that point, they could tie it back to the Jackie thing. They could say, hey, we understand about them taking the him down off the website, and we do not condone that. Like, you're right. There's at any point they can come out and be like, we hear y'all.
Right.
Because people are making noise. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what made me feel bad about going to the game, is because some of my friends have been like, oh man, we protested the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying? We boycotting them after they went to the White House. And I felt that. You
And
know what I'm
people
saying?
have gotten at us about boycotting the NFL. Like, I feel like
Right.
Orion has gotten at us. I know some other cats have gotten at us on Facebook. I think
Right.
maybe Ronnie Hands had something to say about I just came with the NFL right now, mostly in the wake of the Colin Kaepernick and Jerry Jones, you know, being a part of the Little Rock Nine, and just it was just enough smoke around the NFL to make black people question, like, how
The
can you
fandom.
right?
Right.
And my response always was, the Rams brought the first black player into the NFL. The Rams, have broken every, damn near the first black quarterback, like,
We've
first
been
gay
pioneers
player.
in racial aspects.
Right, right. So I'm like, dude,
It's not us. Don't
right,
blame us. Y'all want to blame the Niners? Y'all want to blame the Cowboys? That's all y'all teams. That's
right,
the team y'all root for. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. Nah, that's when people bring that to me. And it got to the point where if I was buying stuff, I didn't want the NFL shield to be on it. Like if the NFL shield was on it, I was
Mm.
low key like not trying to buy it. Like I just wanted it to be Rams, but that was my things. Like, dude, the Rams record is good. Like we broke ground. Like
Right.
we changed the game.
Right.
We made the
Uh-huh.
game more inclusive and acceptable. So,
And the Dodgers have done that too, but they've also had missteps in that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that they don't try, because they have. You know what I'm saying? Jackie, Fernando, Nomo,
right,
Dan Ho. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Feel like the Dominican. Well, I don't know.
Oh yeah, nah, they was one of the first ones with an academy down there. They said Pedro DeMarcari when they brought Pedro Guerrero up. Nah, but that's even more reason to me for them to be, you know what I'm saying, for them to take a stand. Like that, y'all have eaten off of this. You know what I'm saying? The first with the black players, the first with the Asian players, like this has kept y'all franchise afloat for decades. You know what I'm saying? The least you could do is make these people feel included. Like, you know what I mean? Like, throw them a bone, even if it's not how y'all really feel. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nah, cause I feel like low key, like literally my Uncle Herbert in Alabama, somehow ended up in Washington, when the Dodgers was there, and he posted a picture, him and his wife,
Mm,
Brooklyn Dodgers gear, going to see the Dodgers. And I didn't even know he was a Dodgers fan, and I don't know for sure that he is, but
right,
on some level, black people, I mean, for sure, in the days after Jackie Robinson, the Dodgers were the team of Black America, like,
right. And then Don Newcomb came like 2 years later.
and Roy Campanella, right?
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
So nah, I mean, I still feel like till this day, black. If there was a team that if Black America had to say what team are we rocking with the most, I still think it would be the Dodgers.
No, I
And
agree.
whether you add Mexico to that, you add
Right,
Japan to that,
right. People of color.
right,
You
right.
know what I'm saying?
What the Dodgers are doing with Japan now is crazy.
Nah,
We are. I mean, you said eating like, and we ain't just eating off of Japan in terms of like money. Like we winning chips
right. With they players.
on Japan's back. Like we just we gonna have a Japanese national team damn near.
as the Dodgers. And we're going to sprinkle in Mookie and Freddie. We're going to sprinkle in Mookie and Freddie with y'all best and see how that works.
Right, and it's working well.
Nah, we got a straight pipeline. Like, that's crazy because that's how we used to be with the Dominican. Before everyone had their own academy down there, we would get all the best Dominican players. You know what I'm saying? So this has been our MO. And that's, again, more reason why I'm like, dude, you can't acknowledge, you know what I'm saying? You can't make at least an acknowledgement to these people or for these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know that part of your fan base did not like that move that y'all just made. Right. And it's not like we didn't just like it. Like, they gave you a reason. Like, they hated on one of our, you know what I'm saying, biggest dudes before y'all went. Like, they gave y'all a chance to be like, nah, we don't want to come because of this. And y'all overlooked that. Like, again, we still haven't found no parts of them acknowledging that.
And then when it's celebrating.
Right.
4 weeks later it's Jackie Robinson Day.
Right.
Yeah, man. We need to change topics. The more we talk about it, the hotter,
the angrier you get.
Right.
Yeah. Before we go there, let's talk about the NIL situation because I wanted us to get to it last week, but we didn't get a chance to get to it, and then it just went crazy because last week when we talked, Nico Malialiava, the QB of Tennessee, was holding out, and I was gonna say last week I was like, man, that's gonna kind of change the game. Now college players are holding out. But then after that all happened, Tennessee was like, we're not playing that game. You can bounce. And then he ends up at UCLA for less money at a less football program. So it kind of blew up in his face. And we was talking before we got on, and you were saying how the SEC was like, nah, you're not coming to any school here.
Right.
I thought that was crazy. That's now they policing themselves.
Right. Nah, and it's collusion. Like it's what we say with Colin Kaepernick is, I think that was part of his lawsuit against the NFL there was clear collusion. Like clearly teams was talking to each other saying, don't mess with Colin.
Right.
Colleges were talking to each other. The SEC, I think the SEC has it in their bylaws or somewhere where it's like, I don't know if some player decides to leave. I don't know exactly how it's meted out or policed, but him going to another SEC school was like out of the question. But
I did not know that. You know what I'm saying?
Even some Big Ten schools, some ACC schools, like they were speaking on it individually to essentially say, like, nah, we're not going to play that game. Like, players got enough control as it is. Like, it's already the Wild Wild West, and now he holding out. Like,
right. Nah.
He want to go from $3 million to $4 million. Like, this is crazy because if he does this closer to the season, if he waits till the week before the first game,
he really got him by the balls.
Right.
I mean, he kind of had him by the balls doing it before the spring game. Like, it's already close to the season. Like, recruiting is over. Right. But the portal's still open. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because so UCLA had brought in a quarterback from Appalachian State. UCLA got a new offensive coordinator who was the QB coach at Indiana, who had their turnaround season last year. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they had brought a bunch of dudes from like 1AA. They had gotten a 1AA coach who brought a bunch of his dudes. So UCLA took their quarterback coach and made him the old coordinator for Bieniemy. So he picked this dude from App State as his QB to run his new system.
Right.
Then they fall into Nico. So dude from App State hops in the portal. He going to Tennessee.
Right. I saw that. And I didn't know who it was. All I saw was some UCLA, and I think they said he was a quarterback, was now going to Tennessee.
Yeah,
so that's like a trade.
Basically, and dude never played at UCLA. He came here from App State, you know what I'm saying? With the QB in the spring game. They get Maliaba. He hops in the portal. Tennessee scoops him up. And then Maliaba's younger brother is a QB. He committed to UCLA, took UCLA all the way up to signing day. And then on signing day, he pulled out, and him and one of his teammates went to Arkansas. Maliaba's younger brother. He hopped in the portal. They saying now he gonna come to UCLA.
So he ain't a QB. He is a QB.
He is. He gonna back up his brother.
Wow.
He only a freshman. The younger brother's only a freshman. He signed with UCLA and then pulled out on draft day and went to Arkansas. Now he hopped in the portal and they saying he gonna come to UCLA. This shit is incestuous now, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. They gotta put some rules on it. Like, you know what I mean? Dude comes from App State to UCLA, don't even take a snap. UCLA gets Tennessee's QB, so he goes to Tennessee.
Yeah, Bill Plaschke wrote an article, says with Nico joining UCLA, everybody loses. That's kind of what it is. Like, the whole game is starting to get fucked on a whole different level right now.
Right. Nah, that's what I'm saying. They need to put rules in quick. And that's the thing, because it's eroding fast. Like, what's this? How many years of NIL is this? Not less than 5, probably?
Right.
And it's gone from NIL to pay to play.
Right.
That quick. NIL ain't even got nothing to do with it. Name, image, likeness, that ain't even got nothing to do with this no more. We paying dudes. You know what I'm saying? And that happened in 3-4 years.
Right.
Where's it gonna be 3-4 years from now? And that's what somebody was just saying. It's gonna be high schoolers coming to college with $5 million deals. Coming to college.
Which is low key already happening. Because I know McClain, dude, that Philly drafted.
Oh, yeah, from Duke.
Centennial went to Duke. Like, yeah. By the time he got,
he from out here?
Yeah, he from Corona Centennial.
And went to Duke
when they was running it. Yeah. Corona Centennial been running California hoop.
Right.
Like the last 10 at least. Because I feel like Arizona, a couple of episodes ago, I said I had like 40 NCAA games.
Oh, right.
I finally made it to the end of the first round. I'm in the second round of the tournament now. And just
so you watching them?
Oh, yeah. And I watched Arizona play. And Arizona got a dude who I saw him play. He played against POD school when he was a junior. He played against POD school for the championship, Southern Section, whatever division it was, and POD and them won. Long Beach Jordan beat old boy. He was at Sage Hill, which is the school Gordon McNeil went to. Shout out to Gordo.
That's in the Bay?
Nah, Sage Hill's in Orange County.
Oh, okay.
Orange County.
Okay.
And that kid left, and I think he went to Corona Centennial. He didn't play with McClain. He got there the year after McClain left. So while McClain was at Duke, this kid went to Corona Centennial.
Now he at Arizona.
Right. And was nice. Like, he was nice when I saw him play against POD. still to this day, I have no idea how POD and them won that game.
Mm.
Dude was far and away the best player on the court.
Right. And has shown that since.
And when he was at Corona, because it was a dude that was a junior when McClain was a senior at Corona who had signed with SC, like they big man. He was maybe 6'8", 6'9", and skinny as hell, but he had signed with SC, and so it was like, cool. He gonna grow into something. But then when SC's coach left to go to SMU, dude was like, I think he ended up signing with UCLA. I don't even know if he should have been a freshman this year. I don't remember him playing. All that to say, I started to hear these, rumblings that Corona Centennial got this big, this McDonald's. And I'm thinking this old boy who had signed with SC, who was 6'8" and skinny as hell. And I'm thinking, oh, he done blossomed over the summer. And now he McDonald's. And it's like, nah, the kid that they got came from Sage Hill. He going to Arizona. All that to say, Corona Centennial been running it. That's where Jared McClain is from. And
they're kind of like modern day with football now.
Right. And he had, if not NIL, he had he's got a major following on social media. Like he's got millions.
Nah, he big on TikTok for sure.
Right. And
he been doing
that, right?
Oh yeah, nah. Actually, you can.
So they were saying
he had tapped into that.
Right. Like him going to Duke, like it was like he could have just sat and did social media for a year and worked on his game and like, all right, I'm going to enter the draft now.
Wow.
So,
it's not far-fetched to say that in a few years, these dudes going to be coming in as freshmen with $5 million deals.
Juju Watkins came in with that.
Right. Nah.
And with Nike contracts, like she came in with all that at SC.
That's crazy. As freshmen. So now, like it used to be, you get to the league, you get your contract, you don't have to have a good pro career. But now, you don't even have to have a good college career. You can get set from high school.
Right.
Trevor's son just transferred, right?
To Bosco. Yeah, I was glad about that.
How is Bosco?
They nice. They, it's 8 squads that make open division for playoffs, and Bosco's always in open division. Like they wanted the top 8 programs.
Okay.
I don't know that Trevor's son is that nice. Like he ain't
like Gil's son.
I don't know that Gil's son is all that either.
Really? I thought Gil's son was nice.
He is. I don't. And he signed.
I saw him playing state last year. Gil's son.
Right. But that was probably like Division 3 or 4.
Okay.
He ain't open division nice, like.
Right. Okay. He wasn't doing what he was doing against open division.
He was McDonald's, so I mean, but so was
Bronny.
Gil don't have the kind of. Gil ain't Bron. Like Gil can't just gangster his son into McDonald's.
Right, but it helps.
Right. But yeah, I'd say Gil's son is nicer than Trevor's son.
But neither one of them are killing like that, you think?
Neither one of them are going to go be Cooper Flag or be...
Well, I mean, shit. Nobody should be doing that with all the hype they put on him.
Gil's son ain't going to go and, like, lead USC to the Big Ten championship next season. Like, he
going to SC?
Yeah. He probably won't even be Big Ten Freshman of the Year.
And that's funny because SC got Bronny.
Right.
And now they got Gil's son. I thought Gil's son was nice. Can he shoot?
He can. I mean, the dude that's killer in California right now is Brandon Burries. Like he's from Corona, not Corona. He's from Eastville, Roosevelt, like somewhere out Riverside.
Mm.
He was killing at the Drew League. Like he was in the Drew League, killing the Drew League last year as a rising 12th grader.
Mm.
They won everything in California this year. They won Open Division. They won Open Division Southern Section. They won Open Division State.
Mm. Okay.
And he probably had like 50 in the title game up in Sacramento.
Ooh.
Yeah,
50?
he had a crazy performance. And he signed with Arizona, which is actually where LeBron's other son, Bryce.
Right. They were saying that's too much for him.
Yeah, he ain't gonna never see the floor.
Yeah, Bryce. Don McClain was like, Bryce is not an Arizona level player. He's like, I'm happy for him. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? If that's who you were, hey. But he's not that level of a player. I was like, okay, because he works dudes out.
Right. And that's the same because, part of me was like, well, shit, that ain't even Big Ten. Because I was going to say he ain't a Big Ten level player or a Pac-12 level player. But Arizona's now in the Big 12, and it's like the Big 12, that's where Houston is.
Right.
So
that ain't no cakewalk.
Right, Bryce, you going to go and kill Houston? Or even get up? But no, the dude that Arizona got, Brandon Burries, like he's going to
be Big 12 freshman of the year?
He's going to be an impact-ass freshman.
How tall is he?
6'5".
So he a guard.
Yeah. Can play whatever guard spot you need.
Right.
Like grown man and dudes in the Drew. So if you kill right.
Okay. I'm gonna have to keep my eye out for him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So Trevor's son and Gil's son are more second level prospects, but just got the name.
Right. But I was glad that he left Westchester because it's like, all right, shit. I want anybody that's good in the city. If y'all want to leave,
open it up for us.
So the San Pedro have more of a chance. Cool, but city section is so bad right now.
That's terrible. Crazy.
It's terrible.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, you could take an all-star team of city section players, and they still probably wouldn't be open division in southern section. But yeah, you take the best team, and Chatsworth is where Gil's son went.
Right.
I mean, you put them in southern section, they wouldn't be.
They get smashed.
Yeah, I mean, Inglewood beat Westchester. Did Inglewood beat Chatsworth? I know Inglewood beat Westchester, and Westchester and Chatsworth went back and forth, top team in the city. Inglewood was probably in southern section. They was probably the 20th best squad. Like they didn't make open division. They made Division I, lost first round. Like
they beat Westchester.
Yeah. Like so, Westchester. If the top city section team came to the southern section, they'd
be top 25.
They might be the 25th best squad. Like,
damn.
And so that's another thing that makes Gil and Trevor's sons
work not that great.
And that's probably why that's probably why Trevor's like, yeah, dude, you need to raise up out of Westchester as much as it probably hurt him. At first he went to Bernard's. Trevor's son. Trevor's son went to Bernard's when old boy that was coaching at SC that went to Westchester. The lights, Tony Bland.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Bland, after he got fired from SC, he wound up at Bernard's. He was coaching Bernard's.
Is that right?
And that's when Trevor Ariza's son started there. So he played his first 2 at Bernard's.
Then went to Westchester.
Right. And Bernard
Mm.
is the southern section, so and they was doing something like they was. I don't think they was open division, but they was top 15, top 20.
Mm.
And so, he sent him to Westchester, his alma mater, for that year. Like, let's see what that looked like. And
It looked good.
They won city.
Right.
But he's like, yeah, this
against Trevor's squad. I mean, against Gil's son.
Right. And then they played again in state playoffs, and Chatsworth beat Westchester.
Mm.
So, yeah, man. I mean, that
it's a proper step up for his last year.
It is. It is.
If you really want to show, you know what I'm saying, that what you've been doing is real, go do it here.
And Gil's son probably could have did better than SC. That might have been a hometown discount.
Mm.
But
if you go to SC and kill, you will go to the league. And that's before they got to the Big Ten.
Right. Right.
You could be a DeMar DeRozan.
Nikola Vucevic.
Oh, yeah. A Kongwu. Oh,
right.
Mecca Okongwu.
Or the big man for Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, Mobley.
Mobley, right.
Nah, so, he can get it off there.
Yeah, I mean.
And they haven't had they just got there, but now they're Big Ten, too. So that should help.
Yeah, I don't know who else was in the mix for Gil's son.
You would think Arizona. Pair him up with your boy.
Right. Well, shit. I don't know how many
freshmen they bringing in.
Scholarships, right? That too.
They're like, the rest of these going to the portal.
Right. And we already wasted one on Bryce James.
Right.
And so if it come down to this dude, Brandon Burries, or Gil's son,
Going with Brandon Burries.
You got to go to SC, little Gil. But I'm sure he probably could have went to a school in any other power conference like SEC. He could have got an Arkansas or something like that. Maybe I was going to say
Miss.
Kentucky, right. But actually, Kentucky is creme de la creme.
Right.
Any power conference, he could have went to at least a middling school in any of the power conferences.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing. Nowadays, all you got to do is get to a college. And you know what I'm saying? Then you work your way up from there. You know what I'm saying? If he really real at SC, the next year he can go, you know what I mean? Wherever he want to.
Right.
So that's the game nowadays. Before it was like wherever you end up, that's where you stand.
Right.
But now it's like just get to a D1 school.
Or not even a D1 school.
Oh, yeah? Actually,
Just get to a school. And that's the other thing. Like now, you can go to a JC for 2 years, and that don't count against your 4 years of college basketball.
NCAA.
Right. You can go to for 2 and then transfer to UCLA and be a freshman again.
I know. When you told me that, I was like, that's crazy.
Your third year
they make
college and you a freshman.
Right. A third year of playing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like you just sat out for 2 years and been working out at LA Fitness. You've been playing in college against college dudes, you know what I'm saying? For 2 years.
Right.
I mean, they trying to make it as easy as possible. You know what I'm saying? If they had some of these rules when we were growing up, man, And didn't
Yeah,
you say too they taking out academic eligibility?
well, it's going to end up impacting academic eligibility because, like in high school right now, we do everything we can to keep the players on the straight and narrow by being like, all right, dude, like let's game plan this out. Let's say you get really good. Let's say ninth and 10th grade, you ain't that good. So whatever, you ain't passing classes, you doing just enough to be eligible to play, but you ain't thinking you a college player. And then you get to 11th grade, you hit a growth spurt or your game really developed, and now you about to go into your senior year and you a prospect. But if you ain't been trying to do stuff to make sure that you ain't like a Prop 48, or a Prop 48 was based on test scores. Test scores are even taken out. Like you don't even have to fucking take the SAT.
SAT.
But you
Wow.
still have to pass certain classes with a certain GPA. To just be able to, I think it's called the clearinghouse, like the NCAA got some kind of clearinghouse that you gotta clear in order to be eligible to accept a scholarship. So it's like those are the guardrails that high schools have right now. Like, dude, if your dream is to play in college, even if your game develop, if you ain't passing these classes,
you're not gonna be able to get in.
Right. Like Arizona could want you, but if you can't make it through the clearinghouse, then they can't do nothing with you. And so now, to go play at a JC, you don't even need a high school diploma. Like you could just show up at a JC. It's like, yeah, I dropped out of San Pedro, but
I want to enroll.
Right. Now I want to get my GED, or like you just show up, enroll, and take classes. Like you ain't got to have no diploma from high school. And so with the fact, because essentially now colleges, four-year colleges have no reason to take a kid from high school unless you really that nice. Like you that nice that we want to get you now before you go to a JC for 2 years and blow up even more. And now you like.
And then we can't get you.
Right.
So even though we know we ain't gonna keep you the whole time, we can at least get you here while you blowing up.
Right. But outside of that, colleges have no reason to take a kid from high school. It's like, why will we
living in the portal?
Right. Why will we take you when we can send you to a JC for 2 years, have you swim in them shark-infested waters, and see where you at in 2 years? Like, can you go to Santa Monica and play against dudes? And that's the thing. Like, I mean,
it could be 30-year-olds in JCs.
Right. And they, my nephew played at Damien High School, was nice. His school was nice. His team was nice. His game developed. Great academic school, had really good grades,
college prep,
all that. Right. And so, when it was time to graduate, he was just basically looking at like D3s. And he didn't really want to go to a D3. He ended up going to a JC for a year. And I'm like, dude, like you done basically, you've been out of the shark infested waters at high school. Like you've been in a private school. You've been in a place where the academic safeguards were upheld. Like you got to be passing these classes, making progress, doing all this. And these the other kids you've been competing against. Like all these other kids you've been competing against, y'all all been playing basically by these same rules.
Right. Held to that same standard.
Right. And now you about to go to a JC for a year, and now you're going to be all them dudes who wasn't playing by them rules or holding that standard.
They there.
Right. Now you swimming with them. And, it ended up not working out. He still ended up going to Cal Baptist and they transitioned from D2 to D1. So he ended up getting his 3 to 4 years off of college basketball. But, he pulled a
The
hoop.
route he took.
Yeah, like the shit that he pulled off is not the route you should be taking.
Right.
And the fact that so anyway, all that to say,
He was fortunate that that route worked out.
right. And great family, pops, D1 athlete, so he kind of he did what he had to do. Like, it was the family pulled together to make that happen. But
Right.
I had a whole different take on what they should have been doing with his career. I'll bring that up some other time. But yeah, colleges have no reason to recruit a
They're
high school.
taking the top 5% now. That's it. The top 100 prospects, y'all still secure. Everybody else, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Could be D2.
If
And
that,
that's crazy.
I mean, if that. So,
If that.
right. If D2s are messing with them, like D2s have very little incentive. Like, I was just reading in the Daily Breeze the other day, like, for the last 3 or 4 years, all the top high school players that I had been seeing were signing at D3s. Like, there was one dude at Narbonne who ended up signing at Kansas. He actually was at Northridge this last year. But and he was one of them top 50 dudes. 6'8", shooter, dunk, all that.
Top 50?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but he's not the one that went D3. He signed with Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Never played. But like other solid,
but ended up at Northridge.
Right. And now just transferred again to Arizona State. Like this, he's gonna be a sophomore next year, but that's gonna be
his third school.
Fourth school. He went Kansas, signed, showed up, didn't play, left there, went to Gonzaga.
Wow.
Left before the season started, then went to BYU right around the time. This is all in the same academic year. I have no idea. Went to BYU, played one game, left BYU, went to Northridge, played at Northridge last year, had a good season too. Probably averaged like 14-8. Played against UCSD a couple of times. They lost both games, but and now they announced he's going to Arizona State next year. So he's going to be a sophomore, but that's going to be at least his fourth
school. Like, that's not healthy for anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Checking high school. Like, he jumped a bunch of different high schools. But
that's not healthy for the kid. That's not healthy for the schools. That's not healthy for basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like, some rules need to be put in place. I mean, again, I don't want the freedom restricted and I don't want the money restricted, but it has to be rules. It has to be a certain time that you can do this. And I think they need to limit the amount of times too. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be 4 schools in 2 years. Like, that takes all the power away from the coaches. You can't coach nobody like that because they're going to leave. You know what I'm saying? And play right away. Did you freeze up? Oh, yeah. You unfroze.
Nah, like you said, all the power from the coaches. And I mean, it's going to be hell trying to get these kids to go to class. That's already, because I think you were saying.
Right.
We talked about it, how don't nobody get declared academically ineligible anymore.
Right. The last one was like in 2022, something shit like that. The last person to be ruled academically ineligible in football, I think, was 2022. Because that's the thing. You paying these kids $4 million to play, they're not going to be ineligible. You know what I'm saying? You're making more than the faculty.
Right.
You here to play football. You know what I'm saying? Because they were saying Maliaba, he was at Poly for high school.
Warren, the dude that just transferred to UCLA,
Yeah.
he went to a school in Downey. Remember the first high school game they played at SoFi was Downey versus Warren?
Mm.
Remember?
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Too. It was
He
him.
didn't transfer to there though, or from there?
He
Because
might
they
have.
were saying at some point in high school he had 4 Fs
Uh, I
and was
believe.
still transferring and playing.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's man.
right. And so, I mean, if the pressure is put on faculty to say you can't fail this kid because we paying him $4 million, and if you fail him, we ain't getting nothing for our money. Which that
Makes sense on some levels.
it does, but that's gonna call into question the whole academic standing of the school, and eventually you're gonna get to a professor that's like, nah, fuck that. He didn't do the work. Like
Nah.
he got an F in this class. Now y'all figure out how to make that work, but I'm not changing this grade because if a professor don't end up going public on that, the professor is going to end up going public on, look, dude, we just it's pay for play right now. Like we just giving these grades away. Kids ain't having
Right.
to earn them. We haven't, So all of a sudden, UCLA ain't the same academic institution that it used to be because now we can't grade the kids based on
Honestly.
right. And so,
USC.
right, right. There's that angle, and then there's the angle of these high school. And I know that's the rule for basketball. I'm sure it's the rule for football too, that you can go to a JC for 2 and then transfer and still have 4.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But right, like why does a kid's gonna do just enough to be eligible to play? Maybe because truth be told, you don't even have to really play in high school to go play at a JC. Like you can just show up at the workouts.
Mm.
Like, all right, dude, like I'm coming here now. Like,
I've
that
been working out at 24-hour the last 2 years.
that might start to change. Like JCs might start to get more selective now that they know that their place in the system is being fortified. Like we're now driving kids to you, where before we were trying to keep kids from you. Like, dude, don't. Like I was
Don't
trying.
go to a JC. That's gonna kill your clock. But now it's like the JC is the place to put your clock on pause.
Right, right. Um, and you don't have to have any academic
Background.
credentials. Right.
Right. You can get it here.
You
Come here and have these colleges see you.
right.
They don't care what you did before you got here.
Right. Right. Because you might have had great grades in high school, but you still got to go to this JC. And that kid that was ineligible at your high school because he couldn't pass his classes, he
Here.
he eligible now. Like now
You gotta play against him.
now you got to deal with him.
And
Right.
all he been doing is working out.
So yeah,
Man.
and this system is I hate this. I hate to see
It,
how it's going to develop.
it needs some rules, man. It needs somebody to step in and put some guardrails on this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the only way. Without no guardrails, it's gonna just spiral out of control. Because these people, I mean, the SEC kind of policed themselves, but shit, like you said, they ended up being collusion.
Right.
So that ain't the way to do it.
Right. Right. Nah. And all it takes is one school, in the conference to be like, all right, man, come here. Like
Right. Nah.
Tennessee don't want you. Come
But
to
that was what was cool about what they did was one school did not do that.
right.
You know what I'm saying? If they could hold firm like that, they can go somewhere. They can move with this. You know what I mean?
And they
But
make it
like
seem like dude's game wasn't all that. Like, Tennessee was cool. They made the playoff. I guess he played really bad against Ohio State in the playoff. Um, his numbers, they was like, wasn't great. Like, I don't know. It's several.
I felt like that was the Luca. He gone, so he sucks now. Feel though, you know what I'm saying? Because ESPN ranked him as the number one prospect in the portal.
After he left Tennessee?
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying?
Well, nah. Um, they made it seem like, Tennessee told him to go.
After they didn't give him the raise.
Right.
But he was their starter before that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then the family tried to be like, it's not about money, it was about the system. Because they were saying how all these QBs out of this Tennessee system, they get to the league and none of them pan out in the league. Because they were saying that Scott was saying how all they plays are predetermined. Like before the snap, they tell you where the quarterback's gonna throw it. So he was saying he's leaving because, he wants to be in a system that's gonna get him ready for the league. I mean, I guess UCLA has put a few. Dorian BTR went recently, you know what I'm saying? But, going to UCLA don't strengthen that argument.
Right.
They're not they're not a powerhouse offensive. They're not like he went to Ohio State.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, they gonna get you ready for the league.
Right. Which I saw a mock with the Rams as we transition for this last topic.
Oh, the draft?
The draft is coming up by the time we meet next Monday.
Yeah, the draft will be over.
Right.
But what was the mock you saw?
Had us taking Will Howard, the Ohio State QB.
In what round?
I want to say the second or third. I decided this morning I want the cornerback from Florida State. Like, is he still mocking to us?
Your boy that Verse was hyping up.
Azure or something like that.
Yeah. He's not mocked to us. He late first, early second. He probably won't even end up in the first. From how things are falling right now, you know what I'm saying? Because it's some other corners that's gaining steam.
Nah,
I don't know. I'm still all over the board on what I want. It's gonna be who falls to us. You know what I'm saying? Because I still like Jihad, but I think he's rising up boards fast. Like people putting hella comps on him, like Raekwon and Navarro Bowman. So, you know what I'm saying? I think he's out of the range. But, like, if that receiver from Arizona dropped, I wouldn't be mad at him. They talking about the white linebacker from UCLA. Schlesinger. You know what I'm saying?
As a first round?
Yeah, end of the first. And that's why I feel like we thinking about trading back.
If we draft a white linebacker from UCLA, he's a
first
rusher or he's like a middle linebacker?
Yeah, he's a linebacker, like a 3-down dude. And they saying that's the only reason he's not rated as high as Jihad. Because Jihad got the pass rush. Jihad got to Alabama as an end. But they have like Will Campbell, the ends that was there before he got there is in the league now. But they was like, we still got to get you on the field, so they moved him to linebacker. So he got rush skills. But dude from UCLA don't have that. He just a tackling machine. He balled this year, no doubt about it, but it was his first year doing it, and it was at UCLA. But they are in the Big Ten now. But nah, That's why I think us trading out is also an option. Because we in that range that people gonna be looking at that third QB.
Mm.
So if somebody
we might want to touch
Jackson Dart,
whomever.
oh,
Jalen Milroe.
right. I heard a couple people say McVay and Milroe would be a good match. He would give McVay some tools that he ain't never had to work with, and then he could sit behind Stafford for 2 years.
Right now.
But all that sound like second round to me. That white linebacker or Milroe. You know what I'm saying? If somebody want to come get our first round pick and let us get in that early second round and then give us something else, I'm down to do that.
Yeah.
Because everything that's going to, like, that's the thing. The range that we at, I feel like we would have to reach for the players that we want. I feel like we can move back and get a lot of the dudes, like that corner from Florida State. We could move back and get him like early second. If we want to touch that white linebacker, he's early second. Milroe, you know what I'm saying? It's going to not, taking him in the first is going to be a little too rich.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Nah, that's the one, that's the kind of the angle I'm looking at right now. I mean, if somebody's fall that we like, I say scoop. But if not, I wouldn't mind trading back and getting into that second round because we don't have a second round pick.
Right.
If we could trade back and get 2 second rounders, I'd do that.
As long as one of them is early.
Oh, yeah, nah. We don't want to be in the middle of the second. We definitely want to be like top 5, top 10 second round for you to get this late first round pick.
Yeah. I don't know. I need to think. I mean, I know who I want to fall. He ain't gonna fall. That's Tyler Warren.
Oh, the tight end? He might fall because they're saying the tight end from Michigan is moving up.
Loveland or whatever.
Yeah, they're like, don't sleep on him because I guess the dude from Penn State is like the complete line tight end, block and catch. But the dude from Michigan is like just almost like a big receiver. So it depends on what you want. You know what I mean? So
I had seen Loveland mock to us. Like I had seen mocks where he was still available in the late first. So I mean, it seemed like it ain't gonna be a whole lot of teams drafting tight ends.
Well, because they were saying he wasn't gonna get by the Chargers.
Who, Loveland or Tyler?
Yeah, Loveland. Because that's Harbaugh.
Oh, right.
Yeah, they said if he's still there when the Chargers picking, Harbaugh scooping.
Okay, do that. Yeah, I mean, Tyler Warren's the one that I was like, if he falls, then cool.
Right. I wouldn't mind trading up either for him.
The Chargers draft 22nd.
Yeah.
But yeah, outside of that, I'm cool with playing the waiting game, seeing what falls, see if teams get desperate.
Right, which always happens.
Yeah, I saw Mel this morning had cornerback as the top need, linebacker as the second need, QB. I think those was the 4. He said corner. He didn't get. I don't think he had tight end listed, which lets me know he don't really know us.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was corner,
linebacker, quarter.
Right. And then offensive line, tackle. I would add tight end to that.
Definitely, and especially knowing McVay. Tight end was how he came in.
Right. So, I
It's crazy because it's a corner from Kentucky that's late first that ran like a 4.3. That's a ball hawk. His comparison was Janoris Jackrabbit Jenkins.
and where is he supposed to go?
What team?
I mean, first round.
He late first, early second. He's like the 30th prospect. You know what I'm saying? Maxwell or something. But now when they gave him the Janoris comp, I was like, ooh. He's a pick six dude.
Yeah, he ain't in Mel Kiper's top 25 available.
Yeah, nah, he's not top 25. That's what I'm saying. He's probably between 25 and 35.
Jihad, they got Loveland as 10th best.
Mm.
Jihad is 17th. The top corner is a dude from Michigan.
Right. Now, it's a few corners before him because it's a dude from Texas.
Before who?
The
Before
dude from Kentucky. Yeah.
yeah.
Before this dude.
Oh, Maxwell Harrison. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What he got him ranked at?
27th.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I said 25 to 35. What's his? They got his height, weight.
5'11", 183.
So he's not as big as I thought.
Ran the fastest 40-yard dash, 4.28.
Right.
Regardless of position.
Right. He's a picker too.
They got Azure Thomas, 29th, 6'2", 200.
Right. See, that's the corner with size. Nah, it's corners in this draft. That's what I'm saying. This a dude from Ole Miss I seen mocked to us.
Yeah. Corner?
Amos?
Trey Amos, yeah. He's ranked 37, 6'1", 195.
Okay, he big too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like corners are biggest need, but the whole idea of us just locking in on that Florida State defense, which was a dope-ass defense, because that's sort of what Philly been doing.
With Georgia?
Right. And we
Nah.
okay. Florida State.
Nah, that D was real.
Right.
And we saw how trash they were when that D left.
Ooh, right.
It wasn't like they kept it going.
Right. So that's kind of the angle that's making me say I want Azure or however you say his name. But if I was, based purely on need, I feel like the area where we need the biggest talent infusion, I think, is linebacker. And
I agree.
I'd say tight end second.
And that's the thing. If it's not Jihad, I feel like linebacker we can touch second round. That's why if nothing great falls, I'm down for the trade back. Because this draft is like second, third rounds where you can come up. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because what we be forgetting with Rams in the corners is Emmanuel Forbes.
Nah.
Like,
I'm not forgetting about him. He can be better than these dudes we drafted.
He's a first, like he's like adding a first round
corner, right?
Which he was,
right. Ain't no telling what we can turn him into,
right? So I don't feel like our secondary room is. I don't even feel like it's a weakness. Like, yeah, if you're gonna bring in a stud, I'm gonna take a good player wherever.
At any position, right? And that's how I feel like we are. That's how our whole team is. It ain't one because we need linebackers, but it ain't like we can't live without one. You know what I'm saying? We had a rookie linebacker starting, and how we play, we bring in a safety on third down. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, McCullough came in and played that linebacker spot. So, that's a good thing about us is none of these spots are glaring weaknesses. It's just we can upgrade one. So let's pick one, you know?
Mm. Well, yeah. I mean, by the time this draft is over, I hope we've touched all them areas.
I feel like we will. You know how we are. They shrewd about that. And it's gonna be some late round picks that we get that's like, damn, I didn't know, you know what I mean? I didn't think it was gonna be him.
Right. Nah. Cause shit. Did we feel like we needed Puka?
Right. Nah. I mean, we didn't know he was gonna be what he was. Like when we got him, we had heard people say they called him big play Puka or touchdown Puka or something like that at BYU. So it's kind of like, okay, he could be something, but not what he turned out to be. Like when we took Donald, we didn't need him.
Mm.
We had just signed a D tackle in free agency, Langford from Miami. I'll never forget that. Because I was like, why are we drafting him?
Mm.
It was like, this is why.
Right. And I think it's starting to come out what our secret sauce is. Like other teams, did you read that? You saw that? How it came out that we don't interview. Like I
Or
guess
we don't have our best dudes we want to draft come in for that in-person meeting.
you can do 30 of them, and we don't do that. Like
Any
we go visit them at their high school or college.
mm,
That don't count. Like we can have 30 people. I guess either we interview them at the combine or they come to our facility. But they was like, we go see them at their high school.
and that don't count.
Right.
That's on no record.
Right. And right, they don't send their top people. Like it'd be a whole smoke and mirrors where if somebody's really trying to watch us,
They don't have no idea who we really like.
right,
Because NFL TV be scrolling across the bottom, so and so met with these teams this week, and you never see us in that. Like they had Shador when he met with the Steelers, they interviewed him at the airport. Like, ain't nobody met with us.
right, right. But they was like, I think Jacksonville or somebody else is trying to implement our approach.
Mm,
And I was like, dude, why are we sharing this? Like, keep
right.
this under wraps till we win a bowl at least.
Another one.
Right. Then y'all can tell the world. But
Nah.
until then, keep that secret sauce secret.
Right. That's crazy. Well, shit, I'm getting an alert. My computer might be stopping in a minute. So before,
road, baby. My computer stays strong for these marathon sessions.
right, damn, we did 2.5 hours almost this time. All right, well, yeah, I think this is a good jumping off point. Thank everybody for tuning in again, man. Pat, if you still here, good looking out. But nah, we'll see y'all on the next one, man. It's the Kareem Matthews podcast with my boy Rodney Lusain. Thank y'all for tuning in. We out. The outro music.